Hello folks, Coach Comprido. Today I'm gonna show you guys my favorite solo drills. So the first solo drill that I think is very important is a mix between hip escape and technical standing, but very useful when you're defending guard. I learned this drill with Professor Felipe Costa in one of our camps, on the Brazilian black belt camp in Sicily, in Italy, and I've been using a lot since then. The way this works like that, I'm sideways, okay, imagining my opponent is either knee sliding or already on the side control. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have my shoulder on the floor and I'm gonna move my forehead to the floor, okay? So as I do that, I move my bottom leg backwards, okay? So I touch my forehead on the floor, I move my bottom leg backwards, and it's very important I land on my knee, not on my foot, and my hip go as high as possible. This is gonna make my mobility much better. So, forehead on the floor, bring my leg, knee on the floor. Once I get to this point, I have to facing my opponent. Just be on the turtle position here, that's gonna be enough. So what I do is I push the floor and I push myself backward and I'm facing my opponent on the end of the motion, okay? I'm gonna do the same motion backwards to you guys now. Break, technical standing, push the floor, facing my opponent. Very simple drill, but will help you a lot. Folks, this drill is very interesting, okay? I remember when I started doing Jiu Jitsu, my dream was to do one of those arm bars on the closing guard where I swing my leg outside and climb my hip really high and lock the arm bar. It took me a couple years to be able to land one of those. During this period I learned this drill and it's really helpful, give you a very good mobility for your hip and help you to understand how to move to go to the arm bar or to the several sweeps. So the mechanics will be like that. I'm gonna start on the close guard. It's very important you understand that if you try to move with your hip on the floor, you have a lot of friction, and then you're not gonna be able to cover too much area. Okay, gonna be super tough to move like that. But if I bring my hip up, now I can move a lot more, much faster. Okay, and that's what I want you guys to be comfortable doing. So what you're gonna do is you can start for the close guard. You're gonna bring your hip up. As you bring your hip up, you stretch your leg and you pull your body. You know, like if you're grabbing something, you know, to move. The opposite leg just gonna kind of move up and down, but that's what's gonna happen. Swing and escape. You see how much area I cover? That's enough to do an arm bar. But because we are doing a drill, we're gonna go all the way, make a circle, okay? Hip up, kick the leg, swing. Hip up, kick the leg, swing, okay? Once I'm facing my initial point again, I do to the other side. Hip up, kick the leg. So, it's a very fun drill and then helps a lot with your guard. Another movement I like a lot is this catapult movement, okay? I'm gonna use my legs to drag my body up, okay? Very common when you're doing a sweep, okay? So once again, I'm gonna use the same concept that I bring my hip up and then I'm gonna throw my legs forward, just in the same motion that I catapult, and I'm gonna generate as much power as I can, and I'm gonna try not to use my hands, okay? So hip up, kick my legs straight. At this point, I pull my leg under and then I come to the top here, and super important, finish with my toes on the floor. I can push it up here, and then if that's the case, I could just stand up, or I can stay here and finish my sweep. Okay, so it would work like that. I'm here, kick, and come into this position. Okay, I'm gonna do one time sideways and one time backwards to you guys. Okay, so bring the leg, kick, put my toes on the floor. This position is very strong. Is the 100 meters runner position. That's the position that generates more power for your body to move forward. Okay, I'm gonna do once backward, leg up, kick, toes on the floor. Guys, I love this movement here. Okay, this knee slide is very useful when you shoot double legs, when you turn turtle position. Okay, you're gonna use this a lot. So mechanics gonna work this way. I start on the turtle position. Okay, so then I'm gonna open one of my legs and I'm gonna move my head off center. This is very important. Okay, I will then open my elbow and knee slide. Okay. Once I do that, it's very important I look up. Look at the difference that if I knee slide and look down, look my upper body here, and then when I knee slide and look up, that much could be the difference between you escape to the back of your opponent or you have your opponent on top of you. Another very important detail is look how my leg is in this angle here, because I want to pivot on top of my knee. Once I go to the top, I don't want to stop here. I'm going to finish the position on the back of my opponent. But I want to have to pivot over my knee. If I stretch my leg, the movement gets longer and slower, and when I pivot over my foot. What's going to make the distance to cover much, much longer. Okay? So I'm going to be on the turtle position. Leg up and go outside, slide, go to the back. Okay? Leg up, slide. Make sure you exaggerate looking to the ceiling. Okay? And now we're gonna change the direction. So I change the direction to end on the back of my opponent. Okay? Very useful. Okay, folks, this movement is very good when you're defending guard. The guy already passed your guard. You have to turtle up. The common mistake everybody does is turn turtle position and stay on turtle position. Even when you drill, you have to drill to go back to your guard. And that's what I want you guys to do now. So I imagine my opponent is on my left side. I will block him with my left hand. It's very important don't block his chest, because now I'm exposing my arm to the armbar. I'm gonna move my arm close to my hip. Okay, so really hard for him to attack. Once I do that, I bridge, and then I'm gonna turn turtle position. I have to land on my knees first. As soon as I land on my knees, what I do is I slide my knee straight a little bit, and I stretch my leg, and I fall playing guard. Okay? So I will push, turn, and sit. Push, turn, and sit. Block my opponent, really high bridge, go, and then you end in facing our opponent once again. Folks, this is gonna be a bonus, okay? It's almost the same thing than the other one, but instead to have my opponent on my side control, I have my opponent on the mount, okay? And then I'm gonna bridge, okay? what we normally do, okay, I drill my whole life like that. But it is okay, but you see how I don't move my leg to finish the position? Either if the guy is on the half guard, or on the mount, or even on the side control, when I bridge like that, I want to go to the top. I want to landing on my knees. And that's how you should drill that, okay? I'm here, I bring my heels as close to my butt as possible. Then my hip gonna go much higher. If I keep my heel far away from my butt, my bridge is much shallow, okay? So I'm in here, I will bridge, and then I'm gonna throw my knee. I need to put some momentum behind my knee to be able to roll and go on top. Doesn't matter if he's on the mount, half guard, or side control. I will end on top, and that's my goal. So bridge and top position. High bridge and top position. So teach your body to commit and land on top, not just create space. Okay, this bridge, the end game on this bridge is ending on top, not just create space. My friends, what I'm trying to do now is keep my base as I stand up, okay? One of the worst things you can do is being somebody's close guard and enter this position where your arms are exposed, okay? Or be on a close guard and keep your knees together where you don't have any base. So first thing is make sure you open your knees, you have this wide base. Your toes have to touch the floor because you're getting ready to jump. So don't put the top of your feet on the floor, toes on the floor. So I'm on this position, so now I'm gonna reach with my hands. Normally it will be on the arms of my opponent. So I position almost like a frog, okay, get ready to jump. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump, and as I jump, I'm gonna squat up, keeping my back straight all the time. One thing that helps a lot is not looking down. You already know where your opponent is. Look to the ceiling. This is gonna keep your back straight. This is gonna put you on this deadlift position, okay? This is gonna put you on the squat position, not on the deadlift position. So we're gonna be here, jump, and squat up. My base is super good when I do that, okay? Open my base wider, prepare for my squat, look up, jump, and go up. Guys, one of the most common attacks in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is the armbar. Also, is one very difficult attack. Very hard for the beginners, because what really happens is when you pass the leg, you're already with your back on the floor and your opponent comes to the top and you're in losing position. So this drill gonna help you to be able to fall in position, pass the leg before you fall backwards, okay? So imagine you're on the mount position and now your opponent try to bridge to escape. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna put your leg up, okay, on the opposite side of the arm of your opponent. So I put my leg up and I change my direction, perpendicular. I posture up and I imagine that I have his arm on my chest, okay? And then what I'm gonna drill now is I'm gonna stand up and I step over the arm of my opponent, okay? So then you're not gonna have the risk to do this and then fall backwards. Very common mistake that white belts commit. Even some people with high ranking commit those mistakes once in a while. And then you say, Comprido, but they will never really standing up on the armbar. Yes, this is a drill, that's not a technique. But you could do the same thing and swing the leg over the head of your opponent. It's just a little bit more messy to drill by yourself. You could do this, come in here and fall like that. But I honestly think the most beneficial movement would be change angle and pass your leg. Go back. Folks, thanks for watching. Please say hi to my mom, my guinea pig, my dog, my snake. See you guys very soon.